What's up? 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 What is up? How are y'all doing today? It is Friday, and y'all know what that means. That means we about to have us a good old time tonight. Y'all, I know it is a little bit past some people's bedtimes. Listen, it's getting close to mine as well. But your boy had a little prior engagement. I had mentioned on Twitter I had a hot date tonight. And no, it was not with the missus. Actually, it was with two young ladies. And yes, I'll be out there in them streets like that with my daughters, okay? Because my middle and youngest child just had their second and first daddy-daughter dance. So they go to the same school. So this was an opportunity for us to go out. I couldn't pass it up. They were all excited. The youngest one was like, "Oh my God, daddy daughter dance!" So everybody got to dress up. Have a good old time and all that. So that's why I had to start the live a little bit later than usual. So anywho, let's. Is my mic? Hold on. Let me make sure. Is the mic bad? Oh, yup. Here we go. My bad.
I didn't do that. Okay. Let me know. Does the mic sound good now? Is this better? I don't know why this thing defaulted. That's so weird. Sound check. Everything cool? Everything cool? Do I sound like a robot? I hope I sound a lot better. Okay, we good. All right. Let's start that over again. Anywho, so yes, I had the daddy-daughter dance, and it was for the middle kid and the youngest one. They go to the same school, so they was both excited. I was excited just because they're excited. You know what I'm saying? So that in itself was worth it. So anyway, again, that is why we were starting later today. Shout out to the replay gang, because I know some of y'all are going to be watching a little bit later. And thank y'all for the sound check crew. I appreciate y'all, keeping me on my toes here. Cause like honestly, listen, when I tell you like this stuff be acting up, 1 minute things are cool, then the next minute all of a sudden it don't want to work. So weird. It is so weird. But we have got so much stuff to talk about. And I'm gonna do my best to try and get through a lot of it. But man, we got some things to talk about. So let's do some quick shout outs. Then we're gonna jump into the news, and I'm gonna try and get y'all out of here before midnight. I'm gonna see. I don't know. I can't make no promises. Matto, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Mr. Hughes, I appreciate you as well. Thank you so much for being here. Joy, always a pleasure. Thank you so much. You gonna catch us on the replay? That's all good, all good. Jesus or Jesus, thank you so much for being here. Super Bowl, what's going on, man? Thank you so much for being here as well. Mama J is in the building. Always a pleasure. Thank you so much for being here. Paul, hello. Good to see you. Creed 3 was really good. Yes, it was indeed. PDC, hello. Good to see you. Leandra, how you doing? Good to see you too. Team Tech Boy, how's it going? Hopefully Mama's doing better since the last time we got an update. But thank you so much for being here. Oh, so me, hello. Good to see you. My man Minister Crush is here as well. What's going on? Thank you so much for being here. My man Didier is here as well. Always good to see the vets in the building. My hello Jam, how are you? Let's see, 60 plus. How are you? Thank you so much for being here. Corey, how you doing? Thank you so much for being here as well. My man, the real Django's here. Another vet in the building. Back-to-back vets with Mike. What's going on, man? Thank you so much for being here. Let's see. What's up, IMAX? How are you? My man Johnny Washington's here as well. Thank you so much, Ms. Harper. Always a pleasure. Thank you so much for being here. I don't think we catching you while you working, so I think you're gonna be here, right? Okay, cool. I'm glad to see you. Kimmy is here. Hello. My man Tane. What's going on? Thank you so much. Reese is here. What's going on, Reese? Thank you so much for being here. Natalie, hello. Plans are canceled. That's all good. It's all good. I hope they weren't good plans. I'm okay with being plan B. Well, no joke with that, but I'm okay being the second plan. I'm okay with that. Thank you for being here. Rhonda, hello. Always a pleasure with another vet. Talented one, how are you? Good to see you. We got another top vet in the building with Deborah. Hello, ma'am. Good to see you. My man Brandon K. Avery at Just My Opinion Reviews. Y'all make sure y'all go subscribe. Oh, you didn't like that Chris Rock special? Well, that's gonna be the last topic. We are gonna talk about it at the end of this. I got some thoughts. I have some thoughts, and I will share that with you. But yeah, we'll get to that. Kiki, what's up? How are you? Angel, how you doing? Another Mod Squad, back-to-back vets. I love to see it. Let's see, my man Derek Gaines is here. What's going on, sir? Doc, how you doing? Good to see you. Lou, what's up? What's up? Boss Fat like the moon. Okay, all right. Good to see you. Thank you so much. Shout out to the K Gang. My man Nelson V, what's up? How are you? Treese, what's going on? How you doing? Robert, what's up? Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you. CJ, I see you. Thank you so much. Let's see. D, what's up? How are you? Tati, all the way from Brazil. Hello, hello. Good to see you. Raymond, what's up? T-ville, hello. Tyra K, good to see you. Always a pleasure. My man Travis is here as well. Let's see. Woo, we got the crew in the building. I love it. Chops, what's up? Last of my kid. How you doing? Zia Latrice, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for being here. Another vet in here. Let's see. Okay. Soto. I think that I don't know how to pronounce all the letters. But shout out to everybody that's made it out tonight. I really, really appreciate you. And thank you for coming in whenever you jump in. Appreciate you so much. Come on through. We got Deborah coming through with the donation. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate you. Hope everyone is doing well. It's spring break in San Antonio. So here's a little something for the girls popcorn at the movies. Recast T'Challa. Thank you so much. I appreciate you so much for that. It really does mean a lot because they like to eat popcorn and to go to the movies. So, you know, it is what it is. What's up, Marcus? Thank you so much for being here as well. All right, let's jump into it. We're going to try and do some quick updates, and then we're going to jump into the others. Let's see. Let's grab this here and let's get this. Do I have the right stuff up? Yes, I do. What is this? There we go. Right there. Boom. Let's go. We got Jenna Ortega, y'all. She is currently in talks for being in the upcoming Beetlejuice 2 sequel. Did y'all even know that this was happening? I remember this was a long time ago, but it really didn't make a whole lot of movement. But now, apparently, this is in the works. Tim Burton is supposed to come back. Michael Keaton is coming back as Beetlejuice himself. It says here that if a deal is made, Ortega would be playing the daughter of Lydia. So in case you remember, Lydia was played by Winona Ryder in the original movie. So I don't know about y'all, but I loved Beetlejuice. I watched Beetlejuice so many times when I was a kid. I ain't had no business watching it. I didn't get all the references as a kid, but I didn't care because I also watched the Saturday morning cartoon and I was in all day. But I gotta say, yo, Jenna Ortega, man, she is taking over. My only concern is I hope she don't get typecast now, you know, because she is a talented actress. I hope she's not going to be typecast into only playing these emo gothic type of characters and roles, you know. So hopefully, you know, this is like, because obviously she's doing a fantastic job as Wednesday on Netflix, right? And I'm like, I know they made a little joke. I forget what award show it was with her and Aubrey Plaza and all that stuff. But I'm just like, okay, like, just don't let this be your one-trick pony now. That's all I'm saying. I know she can do a good job with this. I just don't want her to feel like, I don't want people to view her as if that's all she can do. So anyway, let me know, how are you feeling about Beetlejuice 2? And would you like to see Jenna Ortega take on the role of Lydia's daughter in that sequel? Let me know in the comments down below. We're going to keep it moving real fast. Next up, yo, I've been telling y'all, Jonathan Majors is a force. Okay, I've been telling y'all this for a long time. I told y'all this before Lovecraft Country. I told y'all this brother was going to come in and people's gonna recognize his talent. And then when he got cast as Kang, I told y'all this is why Kang Gang got started, because this man has the range to do it all. So it's not gonna stop. First of all, he got Creed, then he got Ant-Man. He's playing, we don't really want to talk about that, but he's the best part in the movie. He's gonna have another movie called Magazine Dreams that's coming out. It probably isn't gonna be for everybody. It's probably gonna be a more awards driven movie. But he is making moves, and right now he is in talks to be in a potential Spike Lee joint, and reteaming with him. In case you didn't know, Jonathan Majors already had teamed up with Spike Lee in The Five Bloods, if you saw that on Netflix. It says here, on the heels of a box office success with Creed 3, Jonathan Majors has set up a new film project that could reteam him with The Five Bloods director Spike Lee. Majors is set to star in The Understudy, playing a Broadway actor who finds a role he's willing to kill for. And apparently Amazon has landed the script on this. So this could be a very interesting thing. Now, I mean, just that line right there, Broadway actor, okay, that's him right there. For a role you willing to kill for. Now, I'm just saying, you got my attention. Like, give me a little bit more with the story, but you got my attention. And by the way, let's not also forget, Jonathan Majors also has the role, supposedly, of playing Dennis Rodman from the Chicago Bulls. So, like, my man is making moves. Like, these Kang variants are out of control. Okay, you got Kang the Conqueror, you got Kang the Boxer, you about to have Kang the actor, then you're gonna have Kang the basketball player. Like, how many Kang is nuts right now. Kang is just out here being wild, doing anything and everything, and I'm here for it. Okay, Kang gang, baby. So Jonathan Majors right there, doing his thing, getting them extra roles. What else do we have here? So next up, I don't know about y'all, I am super, super excited for Mission Impossible 7. I could never tell y'all what happens in these movies. I couldn't tell you who a bad guy is. I couldn't tell you why the bad guy was bad. All I know is Ethan Hunt is played by Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is going to do some running. He's going to do some crazy stunt. And that's it. That's all I need to know. And I also know these missions ain't so impossible, because we already on Mission Impossible 7, and my man's just been clearing these things. He's been clearing every mission every time. So I don't know what's so impossible anymore. But either way, keep in mind that Mission Impossible 7 is so big of a movie that it is going to actually be 2 parts. Okay, so that's a big movie, and it's going to be 2 parts. But check this out. Apparently, Mission Impossible's test screenings begin, and Paramount Global president says, yo, it's still too long. It's too long. This is what the president had to say. I've seen all of MI7, but I've seen a bunch of it. We actually just did the first test screening for an audience last week, and the audience lost their mind. And it's still too long. They've got to cut it. But the movie is insane. It's like a complete thrill ride. And Tom, he's very good. Of course he's good. He's Tom Cruise. Of course. Now here's the thing. I've had this now this information confirmed to me from different sources and stuff like that. But last I heard, the first part, keep in mind, this is the first part. Okay, there's a part 1 and a part 2. Part 1 was anywhere from 3 to 3.5 hours long. Bro, how long this mission gonna take? Like, this is How you go from Mission Impossible to Mission Forever? Like, what are we doing here? That's a long time for a part one? For just one part? Boy, that's a lot of running. That's a lot of running. I'm just saying. Whoo-wee. Listen, but here's what I need to know. Here's what I need to know. What does Tom Cruise say? I just need to know what Tom Cruise says. I don't really care what the president of Paramount has to say. And that's with all due respect. I just don't care. Okay? Because it was Tom Cruise that is being credited with saving Hollywood. Because let's not forget, Paramount wanted to bench Top Gun Maverick because of the pandemic. They was like, man, just put it on streaming, do the, man, it's all right. And Tom Cruise was like, no, you don't. You gonna put that sucker in theaters, and guess what happened? $1 billion later, Tom Cruise was right. So all I'm saying is, what does Tom Cruise say? If Tom Cruise says this movie has to be 3.5 hours, then you know what? Maybe you just got to deal with a 3.5 hour movie. Maybe. That's all I'm saying. I think at this point, Tom Cruise has earned the right to just do what he want to do. He ain't been wrong yet. That's all I'm saying. So anyway, I'm still here for it. I'm happy that that audiences are losing their minds. I'm loving the fact that people are liking this. That's a very, very good sign. I'm good with that. I also heard that a lot of the reactions from the screenings were very positive. So great. If you got to trim a couple things, I understand that, because there is a business element to that, right? If your movie's too long, you know what happens? That cuts into the box office. Kind of like, but even though something like Avatar would say otherwise. But basically, if your movie is too long, you can't get that many show times in the theater because the theater has to open and close, right? So if they can only get 3 showings in because your movie's like 4 hours long, you're not making that kind of money. But if you cut it down, maybe instead of 3 showings, you get 4 showings, 5 showings. So the more showings you get, the more tickets that are sold, et cetera, et cetera. So anyway, I understand where the president's coming from. But again, I'd like to hear what Tom Cruise got to say. And he ain't saying nothing in this article so far. So we'll see what happens. But let me know, how are you feeling about part 1 of Mission Impossible? Do you care how long it is? Does it matter if it's 3 hours, 3.5, or you think it should be shorter? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Tati, oh no, that's not Tati. I'm sorry. Team Tech Boy, thank you so much, man. So listen, y'all, I went to see Creed 3 with my mom. Big mistake. Every time Jonathan Majors came on screen, she lost her mind. Never again. Bro, I could have told you the same thing. I could have told you that. This is one of the reasons why I went and saw Creed 3 on my own. I'm not gonna go with my wife. There's just, I don't want to have to fight the screen. That's all I'm saying. I don't want to have to fight the screen. If she want to go with girls and go, on ladies' night, let her go do that. That's fine. I'm just saying, I don't need that negative energy in my life. So yes, that was definitely a mistake, but you're going to learn. Do not have her go see Magazine Dreams. The movie about him being a bodybuilder. Not a good idea. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. All right, let's move on. Okay. Now this is interesting. So John Boyega, right? We like him, I think. John Boyega's talented actor. And one thing that I think I've definitely respected about him is that he usually will pick movies that have very interesting concepts. Maybe the movie doesn't become a blockbuster hit, but he does really like the idea of challenging himself and allowing himself to be portrayed in different ways, which is great as an actor. You don't want to be just one thing. You want to show people you could do a whole bunch of different things. And it's also challenging when you get into different mediums, different stories, to just help you grow as an actor. So I thought it was really cool that he actually picked this new movie that he's doing And it's called let's see, it says John Boyega to star in sci-fi The Freshening for Birds of Prey director Kathy Yan. And here's what's interesting about this, because I want y'all to check out the synopsis, the basis of this. And y'all let me know what you think. It says the project is inspired by Rachel Kong's short story from the Paris Review, set in an America of the freshening, where everyone is only able to see their own race and gender. Sam and Reese, played by Boyega, meet on a drug that temporarily reverses its effects. Huh. I had to sit and think about this for a minute. So, we're going into a world where everyone is able to only see their own race and their own gender. So, for whatever reason, I'm living in a world where I only see black men. That's all I see is black men. That doesn't mean that they are black men. For whatever reason, that's just what I see. I'm living in Africa. Like, there are no other races except for what I see. Like, everyone in the world is a black guy. Or, you know, I don't know, everyone's a white woman if you're a white woman, or everyone is a, you know, Hispanic man if you're a Hispanic man, whatever, right? And then they get a drug that makes them see the opposite, or it reverses the effects. So I'm assuming the effects are now, does that mean you see everyone as they are? Or do you see everyone as opposite? What's the opposite of me? So am I on, as a black man, am I only going to see white women? Or am I just going to see people as they are? I don't know. But I feel like this movie is going to try. I mean, I haven't read the book, so I don't know. But I'm sure that clearly there's some sort of message behind this. There's some sort of perspective that they want to explore. And I'm here for it, because for me, I love it when sci-fi puts things in a way that challenges our thinking, right? This is why I love Black Mirror so much on Netflix, because Black Mirror will do things like, you know, what if you playing a video game and the video game is a little too real? You know, I mean, I'm sure if y'all haven't seen that episode, I ain't gonna ruin it, but it kind of gets you thinking and be like, do I even want to play this video game anymore? You know, or it'll do certain things like I just love Black Mirror. Like, I love just the idea of, you know, can you download your brain, your memory, and that become your afterlife? You know what I'm saying? Like, just wild stuff. So I'm not going to be turned off by this. I'm actually intrigued. I just want to see what, I definitely need to see a trailer, and I need to see, like, okay, where are you going with this? What are you trying to do with this? And so I'm interested, but I am very curious as to how do y'all feel. I'm gonna read it one more time just in case anybody's a little lost. So this is a world, okay, where everyone is only able to see their own race and gender, and apparently now there's a drug that temporarily reverses its effects. See, that key word, temporarily. So what is that gonna mean if I see a world full of black men and then I take a drug and now I finally see some other woman, Asian, white, whatever, and then it wears off and I know you still that person, but now you look like a black man again? Okay, I'm now confusion. I am confusion. I don't even want to play that game no more. No, thank you. Like, no, thank you. The more I think about this, no, thank you. I watched the movie, but I don't like this idea no more. Don't stop playing with me. Like, you either gonna give me that drug or I'm just no, I don't want to play that game no more. Okay, anyway, let me know what y'all think. How do you feel about it? Let me know in the comments below. Let's see. Nelson, what you got? I read a rumor about Secret Wars splitting into 2 movies. Also, keep movies under 3 hours, please. Kang is everywhere. Yeah, I don't know the validity of that rumor. I would just if anything, I could totally see just Marvel moving stuff around. I don't know what they want to do with Secret Wars. I just need Marvel to make movies make sense. So at this point, I don't even think we can have the luxury of thinking about how big the movie is or not. Because for one, we have no idea what Secret Wars is even going to be like for the MCU. Like, you might have an idea from the comics, but that might not be what the MCU does. I just need Marvel to make sense. Like, let's start from there. Let's start from the basis. You know what I'm saying? Let's get the basics right. How about y'all stop putting dumb humor in there when it's not needed? How about you stop wasting villains? Gore. You know, how about you actually like make a movie that doesn't have to be slapstick comedy? Like, let's get back to making good movies. Then we can worry about all the other stuff. But I don't know. If that is a rumor, if it's true, I mean, I don't know. I just hope the movie comes together. But thank you for that. Didier, what you got? I think the movie is taking I don't see race to an extreme level possible, or I don't see color. Yeah. I can see that. That could definitely be where they're going with it. But that to me, the fact that they're also adding the gender part to it, that's where it's getting a little bit more of a wrench. At first, when I first read it and I thought it was only like I can only see my own race, then I could see that, right? Because what would be interesting about it is if you made it where all you could see was just your own race, right? So I could still see black men, black women, I could still see everybody, right? But I couldn't see other races. What I thought they were going to do would be kind of interesting because I thought it would be an interesting exploration into how humans still find a way to discriminate. And I remember watching Hotel Rwanda with Don Cheadle. And I remember how he was talking about the civil war that was happening between the African tribes or nations. And he was like, you know, like they both black, they both African, but one was hating on the other because they had like a wider nose than the other one. You know what I'm saying? Like just stuff like that. And I could see how, like, you know, when you hear that, you're like, man, that's so silly. That's so dumb. Like, why y'all tripping over the size of your nose, how your features look? But then again, that's also why racism is stupid, right? Like, you tripping because I'm a little darker than you? You tripping because I don't look exactly like you? Like, and that makes me inferior or what up? Like, really? So I thought they were going there, but the second they added that gender like factor, I don't know. I think this movie's going to be a little bit deeper than just I don't see color. But I think you're going in the right direction with that. Buzz, what you got? Cocaine Bear? Why? I don't know. I didn't watch it. Like, that's not, I'm not paying money to go watch Cocaine Bear. I'm just not. I mean, I'm not losing sleep. Like I remember, and I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I just remember when Sharknado came out. And a lot of people like, oh my God, this movie's so wild, it's so crazy. Sharknado, blah, you know. And I was just like, okay, I'm sure if I went to the theater and I saw this with a bunch of people, we'd laugh at how ridiculous it was and all that. But I also know that when I get home and I look at the ticket price and I'm like, I paid $15 for that. I would have been feeling bad. So for me, I'm just like, I don't lose sleep over Sharknado and not seeing it, and I'm not losing sleep over this. So I mean, if you saw it and you had fun, I don't know. If you didn't like it, I'm sorry. I don't know. There we go. Tati, there we go. Evan, did you call me? I'm here, my friend. I'm sorry, Tati. You know the way my brain work. I saw T, and I don't know. Tati, I'm glad that you're here, though. I appreciate you all the way from Brazil. Always a pleasure. Thank you so much, Tati. Let's see. What else do we have here? Okay. Now, let's get into Shazam. So, Shazam 2 is coming out. Hold on, let me put that in there for little corrections there. So, Shazam 2 is going to be coming out very soon. And you know, I've been very honest with y'all. I told y'all the trailer has not impressed me. Like the trailer looked very mediocre. And this is coming from somebody who liked the first Shazam. I liked it. Like I probably liked it more than most people. Um, and yeah, like I just, you know, a lot of things were not gelling. Matter of fact, was this the one I said had red flags? Hold on, let me just double check real quick. Okay, I think this comes out on the 24th. Is that when it comes out? Let me double check here. Nope. Nope. It comes out on the 17th. So because it comes out on the 17th, I don't get a screener for it until that week. And let's just say very late in the week. And I told y'all, you know, I've been schooling y'all on this, on how the industry works. When you don't get an early screener, that's not a good sign. I'll give you an example. I got a movie that's coming up that a lot of people are gonna want to see. It's gonna be some everybody's been looking forward to. I get to see that 2 weeks in advance. Why? Because the studio is very confident that they got a banger on their hands, right? So when the studio knows they got some gold, they gonna give critics time to watch it and time to write up their reviews. But when they scared, they not gonna give you that kind of time. Matter of fact, if you've been following me on Twitter, I told y'all 65, that Adam Driver movie, major red flags. How about y'all didn't even give us a screener at all? At all? You didn't even want us to see the movie? You was that scared? Y'all paid a whole ad to show 65 in the Super Bowl with a trailer. You got Adam Driver. And y'all didn't even want to screen it? Yikes. I had to go pay a ticket to go watch that last night. It's okay. It's okay. I don't even know if I want to review it. It's okay. It's not bad. It's not great. You've seen this movie before. Should have went straight to streaming. But anyway, I've had similar concerns with Shazam 2. So, people that, you know, got a chance to see it early, a lot of these first wave critics or press, they were able to go see it because, you know, they got the interviews and stuff like that. All right. So, you know, they get to release their social reactions, which is, did you like it? How'd you feel? Etc. So we got the first wave of reactions here, and I just wanted to go over a couple of them here. And the first wave said Shazam Fury of the Gods is a super fun and worthy sequel, not a game-changing comic book movie, but it wins you over with its characters and energy. Has some real surprises and a knowing sensibility that suit it well, plus some creative and exciting monster action. Then you also have Shazam Fury of the Gods. Shazam movie is a super powered sequel that packs a punch. A super solid, super fun, and super smart blend of hilarity, heart, and heroics. Ramps up the action and irreverence to a delightful degree. Helen Mirren, Lucy Liu, and Rachel Zegler are MVPs. Love the Dragon. Now, this one's from my homie Jamie from Black Girl Nerds. Says Shazam continues to lean into his silliness and immaturity in the sequel, which tells us this franchise will remain to keep these films funny, light, and slapstick-ish. The sequel comes with more action, compelling villains, and a complicated anti-hero. Then you also got James Gunn. I love it. It's a complete blast. Levy and Sandberg and Zegler, the whole crew killed it. Okay, we're not gonna count him because he the boss. Like, what's he gonna say? It's all right. Like, what? Of course you loved it. This is yours. And you good friends with Zach Levy. Like, what you gonna do? Tear his movie down? I'm sorry, James Gunn. Don't even comment on this no more. I'm just gonna say this. I still got my red flags up. Now, again, I liked the first movie a lot. Like, I watched it like twice. What bothers me is, one, the reactions are not lining up with the screening release time. Because if the movie was that good, as they all said, if it was that great, y'all would have been gave other press access at a much earlier time. Why? Because we also would be able to hype it up for you. If your movie's so good, wouldn't you want people with a platform to hype it up just like that? And I'm not saying that these early reactions are lying or anything like that. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is the two things ain't lining up. They just not lining up. That's all. I don't like where we going with this. The trailer was average. Your screening time is suspect. Your embargo for when full releases can actually come out is also suspect. And then you got this small pocket of reactions that are like super fun, super great, super, super, super. There wasn't nothing wrong with this movie. Nothing. Y'all didn't have not one issue with this movie. All right. So anyway, I mean, listen, when I see it, I'll definitely let y'all know and give y'all my reaction. All I'm saying is this is mega sus right now. It's just sus. I don't know. I'm gonna give it a shot. And I hope I'm surprised. I hope it does continue with the from the last movie, but we'll see. Anyway, let me know, how did you feel about the Shazam 2 reactions? Are they hyping you up? Are they making you feel suspicious? I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. My man Marcus, what's going on? So, how would sex work in this world? Like, where are babies coming from? That's a great question. You talking about the Boyega thing? No. I mean, I think that, like, I have no idea how this works. Like, if all you can see is your same race and gender, I'm trying to think of, like, does it just mean like you just have these goggles on? But like, let's say if I'm talking to a guy or someone that looks like a guy, but I like shake their hand, or let's just say we in the dark and we feeling or something like that, but I feel it's a woman. Like, does that like, I don't know how the rules work here. I don't know. So I'm not even gonna speculate on that. I don't know. I'll watch it and find out. That's all I got. Oblivion. I'll say it. Megan Good. She looked good. Well, she all right. Yeah, she all right. But thank you so much for that. Appreciate you. Mark is back at it. Shazam 2 looks extra boo-boo. Hey, I mean, like I said, I'm gonna listen, I give all these movies a shot if I can. But there's not much to give me hope so far. That's all. That's just not that much hope. All right. Moving on. Creed. So Creed is out in theaters. I am not gonna do spoilers here for it, but I already released my review. I already told y'all that I thought it was a good movie. Was not my favorite Creed. It was probably like my third favorite out of the three. But if you do watch the movie, and I think it's not like much of a surprise. It's something that Michael B. Jordan has been pretty much saying anyway. He wants to expand this universe. He wants to make this like a thing, and it might have some legs here because according to this, Michael B. Jordan is spearheading a Creed verse, and it's in the works at Amazon across film and TV. It says now Creed could spawn an Amazon universe spanning both film and TV. There have been meetings with franchise star Michael B. Jordan and various Creed related projects for the past year. The plans for the scope of the universe have gotten bolder in the wake of Creed 3's big debut. Now, details are sketchy because some of the conversations are still in exploratory stages, but they hear that an anime series could be connected to the Rocky spinoff. That could be in the works. And there are other ideas for a companion live action TV series, potentially centering around Adonis's daughter. So who knows? There's a bunch of different things that could come from that. Now, I'll say this. Who said that? Yeah. Stallone ain't gonna like that at all. But here's the thing though. I mean, Stallone, you could have been doing something. Like for me, I'm just like, bro, you should. It's hard for me to sympathize and empathize because I'm like, at some point for Sly, you could have said no, right? Like at some point, you could have been like, there won't be another Rocky movie 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, unless I get shared rights. I'm a producer, something. They couldn't do before Creed, they couldn't do Rocky without Sly Stallone. And I'm just saying, if you felt that strongly about the franchise and having something to pass to your kids, you should have been leveraging that a long time ago. Because now they don't really need Rocky. I'm just saying the numbers don't lie. Creed just made $100 million in the box office. That's a lot for a boxing movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not talking about Marvel and stuff like that, but like, yo, that's a lot, if not the highest in the franchise. So, it is what it is for Sly, but I am a little concerned. Because right now I'm thinking to myself, like, how much can you really do? Because I'm here for Creed movies. But I'm afraid if you start going into the TV realm, how much you want to stretch this thing. Let's not forget, Creed is already a spinoff of Rocky. So now we about to do a spinoff of a spinoff of a spinoff? Like, how many? I'm just, I don't know. And then you want to make it an anime, which is more of a niche. You got movies, TV, animation, and then anime. A subset of a subset of a subset of a subset. Once again, you have a subset of a subset of a subset based on a spinoff of a spinoff. That's mighty niche right there. Very specific. Are the people that watched Creed gonna watch an anime? I mean, I will because I'm an anime fan, but I'm just saying, Team Tech Boy's mama, where's Mama Team Tech Boy? Like, I know you went to go watch Jonathan Majors and Michael B. Jordan, but are you gonna go watch the anime too? And are the TV series even gonna have the main people involved? Is Michael B. Jordan only gonna show up in a phone call? Have y'all seen what was it, Raising Dion on Netflix? Like Michael B. Jordan executive produced it and all that, and he shows up here or there, but like He only pops up like once in a blue moon. It ain't about him. So I'm just saying, like, is that going to be enough of a draw? You know, because to me, I'm like, look, I go watch Creed movies to watch Creed. If I'm watching a spinoff, who are you about to tell? Who are you showing me that's going to draw me to that spinoff? Especially if Creed ain't really going to be there. Now, I will be here if you want to give me a dollar Dame movie or a spinoff. If you want to do something where Damien, Jonathan Majors' character, now if you want to do that, but at this point, Majors is getting so big with his stardom. I think he's too good for that. I think he's too good to be just in some little spinoff series. So who you gonna do? Drago's son? I don't care. I don't. I'm just not. I just don't care as much. Now here's the thing. I'm still gonna watch all of this. I'm just saying I don't know how big of an appeal it's gonna have when you go that far with it. That's all. So I don't know. If you are down for this, let me know. If you have concerns, let me know. Like I said, I'm just thinking about it. I'm going to watch. I don't have a problem with none of this, but I am concerned in terms of if it doesn't grab a big enough audience, it doesn't matter how much I like it. Doesn't matter how much you like it. If it don't get enough eyeballs in there, it's either never going to happen or it's going to start and never finish because they're going to cancel it early. So this is why I have concerns. This is why I get kind of cautious. Like, look, even though I like this stuff, I don't want it to like just fail. So hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully Michael B is thinking of something that's going to make it relevant. Honestly, I feel like the main thing that's going to make it work, you're going to have Michael B. Jordan show up in damn near every episode, and he ain't got time for that. He's not, I don't think he's gonna have time to do all that. It'd be great if they had a better relationship with Sly Stallone, because maybe he's over there doing, what was it, Tulsa King or whatever. So Sly's open the TV. Maybe give Sly Stallone an executive credit or something. Give him the rights to part of the Creed universe. Maybe that'll help patch things up. You know what I'm saying? And have him show up in the TV series. I think that would be great. I think that'd be a solid draw, right? Okay, let me ask y'all. Would it pique your interest even more if you knew in this spinoff of a spinoff and in this subset of a subset, if Sly Stallone were to appear in those TV series? Would that make it a little bit more interesting? Or maybe it doesn't. I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below. All right. Did I have a comment I have to get? Okay, let me get that. All right. Okay, I see ya. Marcus, Echo, and now Baby Creed. These deaf ladies got hands. Sure. Hey, you know what? And that's good for the representation. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't really see a lot of deaf, actors, because a lot of these actors are actually deaf. So I like the fact that they getting they shine, so that's dope. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate you. Let's see. Hold on. Marcus back at it. I got it. Recruit all the next gen Rocky verse characters for a Baki style tournament. Somebody give MBJ my number. First of all, I'm down for anything and everything Baki. I love Baki. I wish they'd hurry up with the next season already. That's fine. I mean, whatever. You're gonna have to. You just need more. I think you just need more. Again, I'm here for it. I just think to get the average person to tune in, you got to have some more name recognition. But anyway, let's move on. We got Rogen. Now, I've told y'all this before. We've had this conversation a couple times about the job of a movie critic, right? As a movie critic and as a fan, I can tell y'all that, it's two different jobs. It's two different paths, right? My job as a movie critic is to go into your movie and to analyze it. And I break it down. I try to hear what you're trying to tell me. And then I judge and critique whether that was effective or not. And then I break it down in XYZ many factors. I consider as many things as possible. And I try and give as best of an assessment of your work as possible. Well, it doesn't sound like that's always done in good faith anyway by some I will say some critics do abuse the craft. They abuse the industry a lot of times for clicks, a lot of time for views and stuff. Um and it's a little shameful in my opinion, like and it's one of those reasons why it's one of those reasons why I always laugh whenever somebody new comes onto my channels or somebody new who has no idea who I am. They might have seen like one or two posts and they're like, "Oh, you always love Marvel." I was like, "Have you seen my review? Have you seen Thor 4? Have have you seen all these other what? Have you seen Eternals?" Or would they be like, "Man, you just always hating on stuff. You don't like nothing." What? 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 Like, what are you talking about? Like, so I've always found value in giving you, first of all, an honest opinion. Because if it's not honest, what are we doing this for? And I've always challenged myself in finding what's good and what's bad in a film, right? Because it's easy for me to be like, man, if I really don't like this, to just trash it. But that's not really film criticism. Now maybe your movie is that bad, but at the end of the day, the critique has to be constructive, right? I'm not going to trash you just to trash you. I'm going to point out some negative things because I think it could be better. That's a whole different thing. But anyway, Seth Rogen apparently has had some bad experiences when it comes to negative reviews and says that film critics should know how much it hurts. It sucks. So he has a lot to say here. Let's grab that. Let's get into it. He was talking on a podcast about the negative reviews from critics and how much it hurts everyone very much. He says here, I think if most critics knew how much it hurts the people that made the things that they are writing about, they would second guess the way that they write these things. It's devastating. I know people who have never recovered from it, honestly. A year, decades of being hurt by film reviews. It's very personal. It is devastating when you are being institutionally told that your personal expression was bad, and that's something that people carry with them literally their entire lives. And I get why. It sucks. He goes on to talk about Green Hornet. This was a movie that came out like in 2011 or something like that. Said the reviews were coming out and it was pretty bad. People hated it. People were taking joy and disliking it a lot, but it opened to like 35 million, which was the biggest opening weekend I'd ever been associated with at that point. It did pretty well, and that is nice sometimes. Last thing he says here, that's another funny thing about making movies. Life goes on. You can be making another movie as your current movie is bombing, which is a funny thing. It's bittersweet. You know things will be okay. You're already working. If the fear is the movie bombs, if the fear is the movie bombs and you won't get hired again, well, you don't have to worry about it, but it's an emotional conundrum at times. That's my face when I hear about a director, producer complaining about film criticism because I don't hear him saying nothing, a peep, not a word. When them same film critics are giving him nothing but praise in different movies. 40-year-old virgin, or what did he do? I forget, like whatever he did. Like, bro, when you do good, you get praise. If you do something that's not that great, people are going to tell you about it. And here's the thing, and I want to be sensitive to the fact that, sometimes people clearly have not been built emotionally for this stuff. So I would always be the very first one. Y'all know this too. I'd be the first one to say, go get some help, go get some therapy. Because clearly people never told you no when you were a kid, or clearly people didn't tell you the truth when you was a kid. Because this sounds like, now I don't know Seth personally, I'm just saying what it sounds like. It sounds like you've been given participation trophies all your life. And if anybody said, sorry, little Seth, this wasn't all that great, it sounds like you don't know how to handle criticism. Now, to be fair, because I'm going to try and be fair with this too, there are some a-hole critics out there too that go out and make their criticisms personal. And that is not good film criticism. In other words, if I'm critiquing your movie, I should not have to bring personal shots in there, right? If I'm talking about, thank you for that, Minister Crush, Knocked Up, right? Which I liked. I like Knocked Up. Knocked Up was a really good movie. If I'm watching Knocked Up and if I'm criticizing it, I'm going to talk about what you did with the cinematography. I'm going to talk about maybe the jokes that landed, maybe the ones that didn't. I'm going to talk about the writing. I'm going to talk about the acting. That's not personal. I know it's personal because you wrote it and you produced it or directed it or whatever, but I'm talking about the objective product. And we shouldn't conflate the two. Just because you put your heart, blood, sweat, and tears into it, you still gave people a product. And by the way, it's a product that we have to pay money for. You're not making these movies for free, and you're not selling them to us for free. You're still a business. Yes, there's an art component in that, and the art component does have connections with the personal, but at the same time, it's a business. Ain't no way you thought you was going to start making movies, which, by the way, you're in a very, very select group of people that can get major movies made. We're not talking about you made some little movie in your own private little home with your friends and family, and then people were attacking you like that. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about you made a movie for public consumption, for people to pay money for, and now you just not feeling so good, or other people not feeling good because people didn't like the product. Listen, the moment anything becomes public, you got to take the good with the bad. And I'm saying that from personal experience. The moment I became a public figure and I said, I'm going to put my face on YouTube, I'm going to be out on the socials and all of that stuff, I knew mentally some people going to be cool with me and some people not. Obviously, you hope you get more cool people with you than not. But at the same time, I understood I'm in the public sphere now. I'm no longer private in that sense. Like what I put out, my opinions, my thoughts are now up for public scrutiny. You know how many people be disagreeing with me on things online or whatever? And guess what? I have to just respect it. I don't have to like what they say. I don't have to agree with what they say, but I respect it because they're entitled to their opinion just like I am. At the same time, what are you doing with your movies? Are you making movies for critics? Because if you're making movies for critics, you know that there's a certain type of way that Hollywood likes their movies, right? But if you're making the movies to make your money, who cares what the critics say then? You say you just made $35 million off some movie. What? Enjoy your $35 million opening. This man sat here and talked about when he gets, it was in the article somewhere where he was like, man, whenever I have negative reviews, I just go out on my beach house and have a fine dinner. Sounds nice. Oh no. A beach house? Can I have one? Oh, that man, I'm really feeling for you, bro. I'm really feeling for you and your beach house and your fine dinners when your $35 million movie got a negative review. I feel your pain. Bruh, look, make your movies. And here's the thing. If you want to make it for the fans, make it for the fans and don't even look at the critics. You want to make it for the critics? Cool. Pay attention to the critics and take the good with the bad. I don't even care. I'm done with this. I'm done. Like, this is stupid. I'm sorry, because honestly, for all those people that like have been devastated and all that stuff, I'm not feeling that level of empathy with y'all. I do wish that y'all would go get some help, because I don't think it's healthy that you think one or two people's opinions, I don't even care what platform there are, if that's enough to crush you emotionally or whatever, you needed other help. That's just a sign that you needed more help than you probably realized at the time. Go get some help. But I'm not finna feel sorry for y'all in y'all beach houses with your fine dining, probably with a personal chef. I'm not feeling sorry for y'all because y'all still made millions and you just mad because somebody said, your movie was whack. Cry me a river with that. I'm sorry. Sorry. It's a little annoying because film and film criticism has been around for so long. And when people come in, and here's the other thing, this man has been here for a long time. He's been making movies for like at least a good decade or so. Is this new? You didn't know? Like, this happened? And even if you do get those nasty, unprofessional critics that do go, on you like that, like, and do the personal stuff, screw them. Forget them. Don't nobody pay them no attention anyway. Because all they doing is just doing it for the clicks. First of all, you a comedian, right? You a funny guy. You should be, go drag them. They want to be famous, go make them famous. Drag them. Then maybe they really think twice about doing that. Actually, they'll probably be on some troll stuff. But either way, whatever. I'm done with this. How do you feel about Seth Rogen and the film people that be crying because they get negative reviews? Again, I am fully supportive of trashing the bad unprofessional critics that can't critique a movie and start taking personal shots. That's Bush League. I don't condone that at all. But I'm sorry, if your movie sucked and people aren't feeling it, you should probably learn some lessons from that. Hey, maybe people don't like all these type of jokes. Hey, maybe we should try something different next time. Do better, be better, and ignore the stuff if it don't matter. All right, I'm done. Didier, what you got? They could use the spinoffs to build up Creed's next opponent. Maybe. You know what? That's not terribly bad. To give us more backstory for the opponents. I like that actually. That's not a bad idea. Because I'm trying to think. I mean, again, you're gonna have to give us somebody really compelling. I'll one up you on that. I'll piggyback on that. What I would like to see then, if you're going to give me a backstory of his next opponent, you got to bring in some A-level talent. You can't just have some wannabe person, because think about it. If it's your next opponent, that means that's going to be the next person that's going to be in the next movie. So, let's say if we go back in time and Jonathan Majors hasn't blown up, that means you're going to give me the Damien story while he was in jail, while all the stuff was going on with him before the events of Creed 3. I wouldn't be opposed to that. I wouldn't mind seeing that. You got a quality actor in Jonathan Majors. You got a compelling story with his backstory, and then it's a good lead up into the next movie. Fine. So don't be just throwing actors in there just to throw them in there, but like, give me somebody of good name and talent, and then we can work from that. Good stuff. Robert, what you got? So as an actor, isn't Seth selective of the roles he takes? Isn't that a criticism of the writer of the film when he takes the role on or not? They get paid to pretend he needs to stop crying. I mean, yes, like all these things are choices that they make. And this is why I'm just like, look, if you felt good enough about the project, then it really shouldn't matter what people think, right? I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand being a little disappointed if everyone doesn't like, roll with it. But at the same time, it doesn't make sense to like, if your heart is into something and you finish it and complete it, you should be worried about the people that do like it. And if it's only 10 people out there, then there's 10 people out there. If it's 10 million people out there, then it's 10 million. Like, you focused on the wrong things. That's all I'm saying. You focus on the wrong things. If you want to make money, you're going to make money. Clearly, you still make money. Bad movies still make money. And I don't see y'all hurting for opportunities. I've seen a lot of directors and actors that have been in flops, terrible movies, and still get more chances anyway. Y'all will be all right. So yeah, I'm again, my empathy is not, it ain't really up there. Robert, back at it. Nobody ever got better off. Just praise. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, you're gonna get the praise, you're gonna get the negative stuff. It's gonna be one or the other, but I just love how, like, when when critics praise something and they uplift something, you don't hear nobody complaining. But the second you put out something that's kind of boo-boo, now we the problem. Now we the ones that's causing pain. Whatever. Y'all better take this with good and bad. Puma, what you got? Thank you so much, Puma. I don't know where your comment is. We'll see if you can get it back up, but we're gonna move on in the meantime. Thank you so much, brother. Let's see. Oh, here we go with critics. Okay. I'm gonna try and not to lose my cool with this. I think for a lot of us that do pay attention to the Oscars, right? And I understand a lot of people don't watch it, don't care about it. That's fine. I totally understand. I get it. However, being in the industry, I already know what the Oscars actually means, right? And that's what I mean by that is I know the impact that comes with the Oscars. What do I mean? When an actor or actress gets recognized for anything, or even a director, right? Guess what happens? When you win, if you're an actor and you win Best Actor, you don't even have the same name anymore. You're no longer Denzel Washington. You are Academy Award-winning actor Denzel Washington, right? And on top of that, when you win these awards, you get a boom in exposure and opportunities. So what does that mean? Well, if you're someone like Halle Berry, the moment Halle won, she got a whole bunch of roles. Now, them roles didn't really pan out, but she got the opportunities. So when it comes to the Oscars nominations, and certain films don't even get recognized, this is where things start to become problematic. Because when you don't even recognize the film, you're limiting opportunities, especially when they're films that predominantly portray people of color. You're limiting opportunities for better representation on screen. Because what are studios going to do? Studios are like, oh, you're an award-winning actor or actress. We want more of you. We're going to put you on the screen more. Well, if you don't really have a lot of diversity and inclusion, you're only going to get one thing on screen all the time. This also kind of goes back to that little Hollywood rule of only one, I'm watering it down, only one black guy at a time, right? In other words, if you're a black male actor, you couldn't get a lot of the opportunities because there could only be one, right? Sidney Poitier, Denzel Washington, Will Smith, Michael B. Jordan, and it might be Jonathan Majors. But you can't have all of them all the time. I mean, this is one of the reasons why something like Black Panther was so great. This is why something like Creed is so great, because you're getting multiple black quality actors on screen at the same time, and it's a good thing. It's proving that you can have more than one. Now, I say all of this because back in, I mean, it's been for a long time, the Academy has had a lot of issues with diversity and inclusion. One of the most primary things, if I'm sure you've heard of it, Oscars so white, right? And the whole Oscars so white thing came because of the fact that the vast majority of the voters within the Academy were older white men. Now, I'm also going to say something that's maybe a little controversial, but I am not of the opinion that most of the voters in the Academy are racist. I'm not of that opinion. I do think that there is racial bias in the Academy, and there's a difference. I don't think that most of the white voters, because that's the vast majority, I don't think that they go in there and be like, ugh, that's a black movie. That's trash. I'm not saying they do that. They do have some issues. But I do think that anyone will usually gravitate to whatever is their preference. In other words, let's just say this. Let's say you're a white voter and you're of Irish descent, right? You might be drawn to seeing Banshees of Inisherin first. Like, hey, I can relate to this. I understand this. My family has connection. Like, that might be something you gonna watch first. Now, here's the difference when I talk about bias and preference. You might watch that movie first, but if you have any level of integrity in your profession as a voter, you'll also make an effort to watch Everything Everywhere All at Once. You'll go watch The Woman King. You'll go watch all these different types of movies. Again, there's nothing wrong if your first choice is what you relate to. There is something wrong when you discriminate and don't even bother watching anything else. But we'll get into more of those reasons. So let me get into this real quick, because I if you're a voter for anything, and I say that I'm not on the Academy voting or anything like that, but I'm part of like movie critic groups, right? And a lot of the movie critic groups I'm a part of, I have to make at least the best effort I can to watch as many movies as possible to give them a fair shot and just vote for whichever one I think did a good job. And again, and this is just a reality, right? Sometimes you just won't have time to watch everything. That happens. No one is saying that you got to just drop everything and this is all you do. No one's saying that, because things happen. But it is a problem when you consciously don't go see something. That's where it might get a little problematic. So I don't know if y'all knew about this, but like every couple of years or so, different outlets, Hollywood Reporter, Entertainment Weekly, whatever, will do these things where they grab anonymous voters in the Academy and ask them for their brutally honest opinions about certain movies that are in contention or certain topics. Recently, we had 4 anonymous Oscar voters reveal their secret ballot picks, and this is basically what they were thinking about different categories in the Academy, in the vote for this upcoming Oscars. Now, again, this is only 4 votes out of, I don't know, a couple thousand people, right? So I'm not saying that 1 or 2 people here are representative of everyone. What I am saying is that if there's 1, I also would not be surprised if there's more. Let me also just give this caveat out here before the Academy comes after me. The Academy has made efforts to increase the level of diversity and inclusion. Remember, I told you like the vast majority of them were like about, it was like 96, 97. Don't quote me on it. About over 90% were older white men. That was back in like 2016. Over time, they have added thousands of new members. And last I checked, they said that about a third were minorities. Now, that's a huge increase. Let's just use some play numbers here. Let's say it was 95% older white men. Let's just use that number right now. And then let's just say there are 10,000 members, just to make the math easier on my brain. 10,000 members, 95% were, let's say before it was 95%. Now they're at 10,000 members, and a third are minorities. That means, I don't know, 3,000 or so, let's round up, 4,000 are minorities in that 10,000. What does that tell you? I didn't say they were only black. I said minorities. I didn't say it was only Asian. I said minorities. You know what minorities are? Women, Asian, Latin, black women, Asian women. Like, so basically, you still have a vast majority that are white and or white older male, and you have like a third of that are minorities. So I say that because when people try to talk about, hey, we've made strides, sure, you've made strides. Let me tell you what making strides is. You have $1. You need $10. I give you $2. Now you got $3. You've made strides. Have you hit your $10 yet? No. Just because you made some progress don't mean that you made it. In other words, the Academy right now is not, in my opinion, a great representation of real diversity and inclusion. Not yet. That's a whole big old preface for all of this. So, like I said, we about to get into this with this 4 anonymous Oscar voters and basically how they feel. And I'm only going to focus on one person because this article is way too long. You could go through it if you want. It's on Entertainment Weekly, and you can go check it out. But I'm gonna point out the one that I thought was the most problematic, and that was the actor. Now, if I go back, so right here, these are the people. Now, they're obviously not going to name who these people are, but you have an actor, someone that's in the marketing department, someone that's a director, and someone that's a costume designer, right? And as you can see on the screen here, you can see the different things that, these are people that, they've won awards, they're well respected. Now we don't know who they are. We don't know what their ethnicity is or what their gender is. We don't know that. Well, I'm sorry, we do know 1 or 2 of them, their genders, if they mention it. So I'm going to focus on the actor, right? It says here his performances and critically heralded prestige dramas, biting mainstream thrillers, and on Emmy-winning TV shows have earned this actor consistent acclaim throughout his career. All right. I want you, as we go through this, I just want you to listen because again, we don't know who this is. We just know it's a guy. I want you to listen to how they talk. Just listen to what they say and how they talk. Because I'm starting to make a very interesting image in my head based off of the language that is used. But let's get into it. So the actor, was kind of cynical, was like, man, I kind of stopped watching the Oscars and stuff like that. But they go on to say, I was so disgusted by the whole thing. And then I got into the Academy. And now I'm forced to vote. So be careful what you wish for. The whole Hollywood backslapping, get a big stinking load of me. It's not a news flash. It just seems to get worse and worse. All right. They're keeping it funky. They're keeping it real. This person clearly was not in the Academy. Now that they're in the Academy and they're voting or whatever, they feeling some type of way about it. But what they go on to say here. I think the Academy is making an effort to please everybody, and it's reflective of the state of the world, but I feel like they're being held hostage somewhat unfairly by the wokeness. What does that mean? Like, let me read that again. What does that mean? They're making an effort to please everybody, and it is reflective of the state of the world, okay? But they're being held hostage unfairly by the wokeness? So, whether you agree or disagree with whatever they're saying, my question is this. What do you think wokeness is? What does that mean? Because the only thing that the Academy has been trying to do is to get more people that look different, that come from different backgrounds, that actually reflect the world and are just not a whole bunch of old white guys. That's wokeness? Help me out. It's woke to want to see different people? So the alternative is what then? Y'all just want more old white guys? I'm just saying for the anti-woke people, the people that hate wokeness. Y'all just want more old white people? Like, is that the alternative? Because I've never understood the pushback on this stuff. I've never understood it. But let's go on. And by the way, just to state the obvious, sir, you're telling on yourself. Okay? Your language is telling on yourself. You sound like a certain demographic right now. You're sounding like you come from a certain political party right now. But I'll let y'all talk about that. They go on. This year, he criticizes media blowback over Best Actress snubs for Viola Davis, The Woman King, and Danielle Deadwyler Till. This is what he goes on to say. When they get in trouble for not giving Viola Davis an award, it's like, no, sweetheart, you didn't deserve it. We voted, and we voted for the 5 we thought were best. I made sure to highlight that in red because I want you to remember what this actor said. Okay? Once again, I want you to understand, I'm not saying this one person is reflective of everybody, but dang it, if there's one, there's probably more. Because I feel like a lot of times this stuff is just like a roach. You see a roach out in the open, oh, you got a whole infestation somewhere else. They might not be all over, but you got more than one, okay? I want y'all to remember the red. I put it in red so y'all can remember. I'm going to read it again so y'all can remember. All right, we're going to talk about this condescending sweetheart. Who you calling sweetheart? Viola Davis ain't your sweetheart. What? When they get in trouble for not giving Viola Davis an award, it's like, no, sweetheart, you didn't deserve it. We voted, and we voted for the 5 who we thought were best. Okay. It's not fair for you to start suddenly beating a frying pan and saying they're ignoring black people. They're really not. Hold up. Okay. Nope, never mind. We'll come back to this. They're really not. They're making an effort. Maybe there was a time 10 years ago when they were, but they have, of all high profile things, been in the forefront of wanting to be inclusive. Okay. Viola and the lady director, Gina Prince Bythewood, need to go sit down, shut up, and relax. You didn't get a nomination. A lot of movies don't get nominations. Viola, you have 1 or 2 Oscars. You're doing fine. Sir, you're telling on yourself once again. Why don't you just go tell them to shut up and dribble? Shut up, LeBron. Why are you talking about injustice? You got money. Be quiet. These are the people. This is the voice of someone who's in a position to affect the opportunities of another actor, which, by the way, could be the representation that is lacking on screen. But it's funny to me. Ooh, I'm not gonna get there. I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna get to it. 1 second, because I ain't gonna call out no names. I'm not gonna call no names, but I'm gonna get to it. I want to go down to the part where, because this article is pretty long. Now, there was a controversy, and this controversy that came up was about Andrea Riseborough and her Oscar nomination. And basically, the problem is the fact that this actress, not saying she was bad or anything like that, but there was a lot of controversy because a lot of people thought that her campaign to get a nomination was a little suspect and might have broken Academy rules. Now, I'm not going to get into the details of that, but for a lot of other folks, especially in the industry, we was like, she was never even in the conversation. Like when people were talking about, oh man, everything everywhere, Michelle Yeoh, oh man, All Quiet on the Western Front, oh man, Tar, Kate Blanchett. Like when people was talking about all this stuff, when the nominations came out, people was like, Andrea into Leslie? Did y'all see that? Did you see that? Oh, okay. And for a lot of other folks that were like genuinely surprised, we was like, but what about The Woman King? A movie that was critically acclaimed, a movie that was winning awards left and right. What happened to Danielle Detweiler, who, not saying Till was great, I'm not saying it was the best movie ever, but that young lady's performance was fantastic. And everybody talked about it. Like every review, Danielle was great. Danielle was a powerhouse. Danielle was this. Danielle was that. But this person that nobody was talking about, all of a sudden they get the nomination? It's kind of suspect. All right. So y'all actor said something like this about the whole controversy, right? And the controversy was like, yo, how do you feel about this whole nomination and the accusations that the Academy is shutting out Black women? This is what the actor said. Get this up here a little bit better. If it hadn't been for Viola being mad she wasn't nominated, I don't think anybody would have questioned it. It's ridiculous. It's sour grapes. Ooh, sour grapes. Ooh, you an old person. Okay. The Academy has bent over backwards to be inclusive. Last year, there were more Black people presenting. Time out. First of all, you're old. Sour grapes? Oh, you over the age of 60 or 70. Sour grapes? You old. You old and you sound white. I'm sorry, but that's just what it is. Again, based off of what you're saying, that's how you sound. You said the Academy is bent over backwards to be inclusive. I already told you. They went from 95 something percent old white men to now a third, 33% are minorities. Within those minorities, by the way, are white women. Okay, still inclusion, but that's bending over backwards. Over 10 years, y'all added 33% in total. This man said there were more black people presenting. Do you know what that means? That means, what are y'all complaining about? Black people were presenting the awards at the Oscars. Not that black people were nominated for their work. They was up there presenting. You think presenting is inclusive? You think that's the same thing as being nominated? Why they let this person in the Academy? Well, let's point something else out. It's like, come on. I think Viola is talented. I didn't see the Woman King. Hold up. Time out. Remember I told y'all to remember something earlier in this? Let's go back up to the footage. Hold on. Scrolling back up. Let's go on right back. Hold on. Remember what they said right here? We voted, and we voted for the 5 we thought were best. You didn't deserve it. Okay, we voted, and we voted for the 5 we thought were best. But, sir, you didn't even see the Woman King. How you vote for what you thought was best and you ain't even watched the Woman King? How do you vote for something that you thought was best, but you didn't even give the time to actually watch the other thing that was in like what? This is why I laugh and I dismiss a lot of the defenders of the Academy voters when people say, like, yes, there is some level of discrimination that happens, especially with Black-centered films and actors. It's not a meritocracy. I'm not going to name no names, but you had some people wilding out on Twitter acting as though that, oh, the Academy only votes for people based off of their work. And if you get nominated, it's because you are just such a good talent. How are people supposed to get voted on their talent if their talent never even gets seen? Oh, you think this is just a one-time thing? Nah, it's not. Y'all remember Get Out? Critically acclaimed? Yeah. Older Oscar voters didn't even watch it. Didn't even watch it. Didn't I tell you the vast majority of the voters were older white voters? And y'all didn't bother watching Get Out? A lot of them sat here and said, I didn't want to watch Get Out because it looked like a B movie. It looked like just some little cop-out, little B indie movie. And that's some BS. You know why? Because during that time when Get Out came out, this thing was sitting at a like 98% Rotten Tomatoes, all the audience scores. This thing was winning awards left and right. What B movie has gotten that kind of acclaim? What B movie has gotten that type of critical praise? Because don't get me wrong, if you were to sit here and tell me like, oh man, you know what? I wasn't checking for Get Out. I wasn't feeling it. I could totally understand that. Like I said, sometimes you're not going to have time for everything. I totally get that. However, I know if this is true for me as somebody way down at the bottom of the industry totem pole, we hear when movies get buzz. We hear when, oh, there's a lot of award conversation about this movie. Oh, the studio is pushing this for our consideration. Oh, my colleagues are talking about this movie. So even if you initially didn't want to check for it, you a liar sitting here acting as though you didn't hear the buzz that was saying this is worth your time and consideration. You lying. I wasn't checking for Banshees of Inisherin. That's not a movie that appeals to me. That's not a movie I even care for like that. However, because as a critic, I have to at least be on voting bodies and I have to be in the know, I made time to go watch it. I still didn't care for it, and I still don't see what people like about it, but I at least watched it so that at least then I can be informed. At least I can give the movie a fair shot. I understand maybe why some people like it. I don't know why it's getting the praise it's getting, but that's just the point. At least I gave it a shot. That's far different than I'm just not going to watch it and I'm not going to give it no time of day. That's not fair. That's the problem that's happening that people are talking about. Let's go on. So this person who talks about like, oh, you know, they didn't deserve it and they didn't even like watch the movie. They say, but I'm a little tired of Viola Davis and her snotty crying. I'm over all of that. I'm willing to believe that Andrea Riseborough gave a better performance. Jesus. Hold on. I'm sorry. So let me get this straight. You believe that the voters voted for whoever was deserving. You didn't even watch The Woman King, but you're willing to just believe that Andrea just gave a good performance? But you couldn't believe when everybody else was saying that The Woman King deserved to at least be nominated? Make it make sense. Something's not adding up. What's that other component? It's clearly not merit-based. It's clearly not based on your own information because you're ignorant because you literally did not watch the movie. I don't know what else to say. Is it hard to believe why people want to say, are you racist? Is it hard to believe that at that point? Because you're not giving people much wiggle room to believe otherwise. You didn't even watch the movie. And now you're willing to believe that this other actress did you even watch that movie? You didn't even watch it, talking about you willing to just believe that she's better. Like, what are we talking about here? Just be telling on themselves, boy. Danielle Deadweiler was so pandering for an Academy Award nomination. She was good. I mean, who wouldn't be good in a part like that? The strong, wrong mother. But you look at the real Mammy Till, she's not wearing all those incredible gowns and beautifully made up. I thought it was a confusing message. If they'd really made a movie about that woman who was not used to being in the public eye and wore house dresses, she wouldn't have had one incredible outfit after another. The ego behind this pushing her to be a movie star was too blatant for me. Oh, agenda. Then don't vote for her for best costume. Don't vote for best makeup. Don't vote for best production design. That's not why she was being pushed in the nomination conversation. It was for her acting. Not one word did you say in there about her acting. You put all this other nonsense about her dress and how she looked, and I didn't. You even said she was good. But all this other nonsense that had nothing to do with her performance, that is what turned you off? Let me get off of this because this getting my blood pressure up. So, once again, anytime I see people sit here and talk about like, oh, the Academy is doing so much. Oh, the Academy is so fair. Oh, they only work on meritocracy and it's all about the work that you do. Tell that to your voters. Because right now, I think there needs to be stronger levels of accountability for the actual people that are voting. Once again, this isn't like just a little critic group, where we vote for people and we give a little award or whatever. This affects, like I said before, it affects that person and it affects what we get to see on screen as an audience. If you don't even nominate certain actresses, if for whatever reason you have a long history of neglecting, certain people of color, especially Black folks and Black films, it's a problem. And yes, there is a history. Yes, there is a pattern. And let me just, because I know somebody gonna be like, no, there isn't. You're just talking. You're just race baiting and all that. Okay. Okay. Go pull up all the winners that are Black for the awards for Best Actor, for Best Actress. Go pull those up. I've told you I've had my issues with all that. You nominate like Angela Bassett doesn't even get nothing for Tina Turner. Fine. Okay, whatever. You don't want to give nothing to Denzel Washington for Glory. You don't want to give it to him for Malcolm X. But the second he turns into a undercover, messed up cop, that's when y'all cool with it. The second Jamie Foxx, massively talented, shows himself as a drug addicted Ray Charles, that's when y'all good with it. The second Will Smith portrays a single Black father that's like homeless and pulls himself up from his bootstraps. Isn't that what y'all like? Y'all like that. And y'all give it to Forrest Whitaker because he plays a raging tyrant, an African tyrant, Last King of Scotland. Y'all even talk about Monsters Ball? Do y'all know what Monsters Ball is? Y'all know that was the movie that Halle got her award in? For what? I don't hear nobody talk about that movie. I don't hear nobody ever talk about Monsters Ball. The only sad thing was the fact that she exposed herself for like the first time in film. The most beautiful Black actress finally exposed herself. But there's no bias. Hey, throw up a 12 Years a Slave. Y'all love that. We got no problem with the supporting actors, but the best stuff, all right, there's no bias. It's fine. I'm sorry. I've had a long night. Let's get to these comments. Y'all let me know what you think about the Oscars, the voters, and all that. Marcus, what you got? Just want to shout to 50 for doing world expansion and character deep dives as well. Okay, cool. I'm assuming you mean 50 Cent. But that works. That works. 50 is, man, he's doing a really good job with everything he's doing over there in Stars. He's killing it. Puma, thank you. I would love for Michael B. Jordan and Jonathan Majors to remake and star. Let's do it again, or Uptown Saturday Night, Freaky Fridays. Let's go. Sure, I'm fine with that. I really don't care. Like, as long as they're together and they're doing stuff, go for it. I'm down. Didier, maybe the Academy needs that I only see everyone as the same race and gender drug from the Boyega movie. That probably wouldn't hurt. That would not hurt. No, I would be in a better, I'd feel a little bit better. It wouldn't be ideal, but I feel a little bit better if they just actually watch the movies. Like, I don't know if they need to do something like expand the nomination submissions or something like that, but I just wish that they would just actually watch these movies that people are talking about and people are, saying, and like, just, like, again, I'm not checking for certain type of movies. However, if the industry is saying like, nah, this is really dope. Nah, this is cool. Okay, well, at least let me be informed and go check it out. I'll make that effort. But some of these folks that have that privilege, that have that position, they're not even exercising it. And then they got the nerve to sit here and turn around and talk about, oh, y'all just didn't deserve it. Like, it's frustrating. It's ridiculous. Natalie, thank you so much. I work for a local radio station and submitted for the Morrow Press Awards. Wins could lead raises. They could lead to raises and more opportunities. Same for actors. Facts. Right? Like, this is like, I know a lot of people be like, oh, well, like, forget the Academy, forget the awards, go do your own and go build your own and well, we have our own. We do that already. That's why I went to the AFCA Awards. That's why I went to the Critics' Choice Celebration of Black Cinema Awards. We have the NAACP Awards. We have all those things already, but they don't carry the same level of weight. Unfortunately, it's sad, but it's unfortunate. Because, I mean, think about it. If you only win awards from, like, let's say, the Latino Awards or the Asian Awards or the Black Awards or whatever, you might just be regulated just to those types of movies. But if you win something that supposedly, and again, the Academy is only recognized because of legacy. It's only because it was here like earlier and they got more money. That's it. If another, something was like older or more diverse or whatever, the Academy would be gone. But it's legacy. That's the only reason. Even for a lot of people that say, I don't watch it, I don't care about the Oscar, you still gonna at least care. Like, but who won Best Actor? Oh, okay, all right. Wait, who was the Best Picture? Legacy. That's all. But yes, you're absolutely right, Natalie. Like, the stuff still leads to more opportunities and success. And that's why, at least we're just asking that people get a fair shake. That's all. No one is saying, oh man, every time a Black person got to be nominated, or man, every time a woman got to win. Nobody's saying that. We're just saying, be fair about it. Watch everything, as many things as possible. Try not to discriminate. Try to be more inclusive. Try to make a better effort to be a better judge, because that's literally your position right now. Puma, gonna catch the replay, recast the child that never stopped. Thank you so much, Puma. I appreciate you. Here we go. 60 plus. What you got? Viola and Riri. After those two win, I'm done. You don't know what woke means. Yeah, I'm just the whole woke thing is just so funny to me. I'm gonna just go get a shirt that says woke. Because like I'm like, I don't want to be sleep. Like, isn't that worse? It's worse to be sleep, right? I don't know. All right, let's move on. The topic done frustrated me enough. Okay, let's do this kind of quick. Star Wars. Now, I've told y'all many a time, Star Wars done lost me when it comes to the movies. I'm just so done with them, and every single time Star Wars will come out and be like, hey, we got a director, y'all. Hey, Ryan Johnson gonna do this. Hey, Kevin Feige gonna do that. Hey, Patty Jenkins gonna do this. Oh yeah, I sat in Star Wars Celebration, and they sat here and announced all these different people doing all these different things. Let me tell you something. Rise of Skywalker came out, what, 2018 or something like that? Was it the last Skywalker or last Star Wars movie? And that was Boo Boo. They ain't come out with a Star Wars movie yet. So you done announced 6, 7 movies, and you still ain't got nothing to show for it? Nothing? And now all of these things canceled. Patty Jenkins done. Kevin Feige, nope. Taika, maybe. Says here for Patty Jenkins, Disney pulled the title from its scheduled December 2023 release And sources with knowledge of the production say it's no longer in active development at the studio. Kevin Feige. Variety has learned that a possible Star Wars feature produced by Kevin Feige is no longer in active development at Lucasfilm. Taika. Taika continues to work on his possible Star Wars feature, and he would most likely have a part in it as well, similar in prominence to his standout role as an imaginary Adolf Hitler in his Oscar-winning 2019 feature, Jojo Rabbit. I don't trust nothing when it comes to Star Wars movies no more. I just don't. Until you come out with a trailer, I don't want to hear nothing about it. They said Rian Johnson was coming out with something. Nada. They said J.D. Diller was coming out with something. He was going to be the first black man to like just do a actual Star Wars movie. Nothing. They said that Sean Levy, who isn't he? I think he's doing Deadpool 3 right now. Sean Levy. They said he was going to do a Star Wars movie. Nothing. The only rumor that I've heard so far, the only rumor has been David Lindelof from Watchmen. He did Lost and he did Watchmen. He has been in talks of directing, and he's got Yahya Abdul-Mateen II attached. That might be the one or two only ones that might move forward. So all I know is I don't care about these Star Wars movies because they just all talk and they don't do nothing. They don't do anything. Now, we also have Bob Iger, who's back. And with Bob Iger, he's like, yo, we got to change this up, right? So Bob Iger said, like, yo, Disney's got to be very careful with Star Wars movie development. And that right there is why Bob Iger is the man. Because this guy right here knows common sense, especially when it ain't that common out there. Look at this. He said, disappointing box office returns for 2018 Solo. I told y'all Solo was so mid. I never cared for Solo. I didn't like the announcement. I didn't like the fact that it was a movie. I didn't think it was necessary. And I'm glad he admitted it was disappointing because the movie was just not that good either. He said also Disney is still developing Star Wars films, but we're going to make sure when we make one, it's the right one. So we're being very careful there. Sir, that's all I need to hear. Like, that's it, right? Just let me know that you care. Let me know that you're not out here just like, oh man, it's 2 years. We got to do another one. Because clearly, the Star Wars movies are no joke. Star Wars Rise of Skywalker, that movie made like over $2 billion. It's up there in the top 10. So these Star Wars movies, that's the money maker right there. But you can't be dropping solos because we're not going to care after that. You're going to have to make them matter. Now, the TV shows, Mandalorian, Clone Wars, Rebel, look, the TV shows are shit. They smacking right now. They are good. But the money is really in the movies. And I'm glad that Iger is out here at least saying we about to make this a little bit better. We're going to stay on Iger. Iger also started talking about the MCU because this was during some big investor call or whatever it was. I don't know. And he talked about Marvel because y'all listen, Star Wars struggling, Marvel struggling. That phase 4 has been a problem. Yeah, we got a couple, ups in here, Spider-Man, all right, little something with Disney Plus here and there, but overall, as a phase, 4 is lacking. And I'm glad that he said it because he says, look, he's questioning Marvel sequels, needs the need to bring back characters, and he says we're going to get a lot of newness. So here's what he ended up saying. Marvel, there were 7,000 characters. There are a lot more stories to tell. What we have to look at Marvel is not necessarily the volume of Marvel storytelling, but how many times we go back to the well on certain characters. Sequels typically work well for us. Do you need a third or fourth, or is it time to turn to other characters? There's nothing in any way inherently off in terms of the Marvel brand. I think we just have to look at what characters or stories we're mining. And if you look at the trajectory of Marvel over the next 5 years, you're going to see a lot of newness. We're going to turn back to the Avengers franchise with a whole set of different Avengers. All right. So there's a couple things here that I'm with him and I'm not with him. And I'm a little concerned. Characters always matter, right? I agree with him that, like, yo, we don't really need a lot of sequels, right? And this is coming right off the heels of Ant-Man 3. And this is where I would need Marvel to reevaluate the prioritization. Because you have story and then you have characters, and they're not always one and the same, right? Let's go back and think about this. Because we've had hella sequels, and the purpose of every sequel in the MCU so far has been to progress the character. So far, Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, Ant-Man. Nah, not really. I'm gonna put that to the side. But Iron Man, Thor, Captain America. The reason why they got sequels was to develop and explore more of the characters. Iron Man 3 was not here for the MCU. Iron Man 2 was not here to progress the story of the MCU. The entire Iron Man trilogy was about Iron Man. It was about to help us understand more about Tony Stark. We saw his journey of being that arrogant guy, and then all of a sudden he goes through these pitfalls. He's having the PTSD, and then now he wants to save the world and he becomes a hero. That's the point of the trilogy. We saw Captain America where he was this idealistic kind of guy, and then all of a sudden he had to deal with Hydra betraying, the government. Now he can't trust the government. Now he's like, yo, we don't trade lives. His character changes over time. Thor, man, I was worthy. Now I'm not worthy. I got to figure out what worthiness is. Man, I don't want to be a king. Man, I lost all my people. I got to be better. Like, he's going through a journey. His character is developing. Ant-Man. I don't know. I mean, at first, hey, here's Scott Lang, and Scott is doing this. He wants to be a dad. Okay, cool. Ant-Man 2. Scott been arrested. He still want to hang out with his daughter, but Ghost, Quantum Realm, Ant-Man 3, he's with his daughter, Kang, MODOK, Mo Kangs. Did y'all learn anything about Scott in the last movie? Honest question. Did y'all learn anything about the title character? They already shoved off the co-star. Remember the co-star that was in the name title of Ant-Man? They was like, Wasp who? They didn't even talk to the co-star. The main character never got developed. So I think that's a sign to let people know at Disney or Marvel that, look, we're coming in for the characters first. We love the MCU story, but what are you doing with the character? And clearly, every character does not need a sequel. Y'all could have stopped with Ant-Man after Ant-Man 1. And I'm not saying that we should never see Ant-Man. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is there's no need for Ant-Man solo movies or anyone's solo movie if you're not going to develop the character. If you're not going to do something with the character, why are you doing a solo movie? Make it an ensemble thing, right? If that's what you want to do. Give you an example. We had an Incredible Hulk story, right? The movie. Okay, cool. We understand that there were rights and issues that prevented Marvel from doing a solo movie. We get that. But guess what? You still were able to bring Hulk along in Thor Ragnarok. You gave Hulk actually a story. Oh man, he doesn't like being confined. Oh man, like he wants to grow. He wants to be different. He doesn't want to be used by Banner. Okay, that's not bad. This is the type of stuff that you should do with these side characters. Scott Lang is not a character that the masses of audiences come out and we ain't checking for him like that. He's a C to D list character. I'm talking about even from the comics. Yes, he has some relevancy here and there, but ain't nobody going for Scott Lang comic solo series. There's a big difference. You know why people wanted to come to Black Panther? Because T'Challa was the focus. And yes, there was a bigger ensemble, there was a bigger story, but we were following this king. This king that you teased in Civil War. We came to see more of him. We wanted to see what he would look like as a king, as a husband, as a father, as a warrior, as an avenger. We wanted to see more of him. Because characters matter. Characters matter over the stories. And sometimes those characters are not big enough to warrant a solo movie. So I totally agree with the idea of like, do we need sequels? Sometimes, yeah. You know what you need a sequel of? Black Panther 3. Why? Because y'all really have never developed the character of T'Challa. I don't even care if y'all want to develop his son. Even if you wanted to go develop his son, he needs a solo movie. Do that. Why? Because that's a character that's so rich with their history, even though you should have been doing it with his daddy. But since y'all want to do this figurative recast, develop the individual characters. But side off characters, we don't need them like that. There's not that much to do. And this is no shade to Don Cheadle, because I love Don Cheadle and I think he's a fantastic actor. I'm not checking for a Armor Wars sequel. Like, I'm looking at Armor Wars, yes, to finally give Rhodey some due, but I'm a little nervous about that. Rhodey is a side character. Rhodey was the supporting character to Iron Man. So again, I'm here for Don Cheadle, but at the same time, the character of Rhodey, not really the most compelling right now. Maybe they changed my mind, but it ain't it. So then we get to the other point where he says, we're turning back to the Avengers franchise. That makes sense. That's where all the money resides. But with a whole different set of Avengers and a lot of newness. Ooh, listen. I'm not opposed to the fact that y'all got to introduce new characters, because clearly the stories have to continue. But sometimes it's a little overload. Like, I don't like the progression and the pace, which is why I fully support the fact that they're going to slow down and, you know, what they release and how often they release. But it's like, I don't care about the new Hawkeye. Like, y'all just introduced her and that was it. The new Yelena, the new Black Widow, don't care. Just whatever. Like, y'all, the Eternals, I really don't care. Really don't care about the Eternals. Like, none of them. Maybe Fastos, because he is kind of cool with his tech. The rest, I don't care. Shang-Chi is cool. I'm interested to see what else you do with Shang-Chi, but I mean, I'm just saying, like, y'all riding kind of thin right now. You introducing us to all these people, and we ain't even had time to marinate. How long did it take us to get used to Thor, Iron Man, and Captain America? We need at least a good, 4-5 years? At least 4? Yeah, because 08 for Iron Man, and then Avengers didn't happen until 2012. We need at least 4 years. And you just gonna throw all these random people at us? I don't know. Yeah. So anyway, I hope that if I'm in Marvel, if anyone at Marvel is even listening, the only people that should be getting solo movies that even get sequels, let's start with the characters that have solo runs in the comics. Black Panther has a solo run. Give Black Panther solo movies and sequels. Blade has a solo run. Give Blade solo movies and more stuff. Ant-Man, I don't even know if there's a solo run for that. And if there is, I'm not buying that. I haven't seen that hit the record charts of the solo Ant-Man movie comic book stories. That doesn't need any more solo movies. You can move on. Go give that spot to somebody else. Deadpool, that's a character. They own solo run. They got their own stories. Give them their movies and their sequels. And maybe, like I like what they're doing, for example, with the Thunderbolts, right? You can have a separate movie that has some of these side characters and have them do certain things that progress the overall story in the MCU. That's fine. But like, y'all invested in like these no-name characters that don't even have no traction. That's a problem. Anyway, y'all let me know, how do you feel about Iger's words and his views on more newness, more different Avengers? You want more solo characters to have trilogies, or is it too much? Let me know your thoughts down below. Do I have some side? I won't. Do I? Okay, I will drop that in a little bit. Let me grab this. My man Mike, what you got? I learned that Ant-Man could take a boot to the face like a G. Yeah, he can. He could. He took a couple of them Kang stomps right to the face. What can I tell y'all real quick? Was this ain't even got nothing to do with it, but I just felt like talking about it because why not? There were some rumors out there that there's some trouble on the set with the Marvels, and one of the primary issues is that reportedly things are not looking too friendly, or maybe there's contention or creative differences, however they want to say it, between Brie Larson, Captain Marvel, and Tiana Paris, Monica Rambeau. And according to these rumors, Brie's feeling some type of way because the Marvels is an ensemble film. It's got Ms. Marvel, Captain Marvel, and Monica Rambeau, Photon. And it's not a Captain Marvel 2 movie that they thought, that I guess Brie thought she was going to get. Now, the only reason I even entertained this is because I was able to do some legwork and some digging and made a couple phone calls, and there's some smoke. There is some smoke there. When there's smoke, there's a little fire, right? So yeah, like, oh, she is a problem, huh? Like, this is what I've been told. I've been told. Now I don't know to what degree that is, but apparently, like Bree is not happy, I guess, with how things are going. I don't know. Um, so make of that whatever you will. I've already told y'all that I was already nervous for the Marvels. Um, I just didn't like the cut that I was shown at D23, but I was also told that Iman, who plays as Ms. Marvel, is great. And I believe that. I liked her in Ms. Marvel. She was cool. So I heard she's really good, but that's all I heard. They ain't say like, oh man, the movie's great. Oh no, they was like, hey, she's cool. I'm like, okay, like I've been there before too. I remember a certain movie where Kang was cool and that was it, you know. So anyway, make of that information whatever you want. Moving on. Yeah, I like this. Ain't nothing. Woo wee. Look, I like these type of topics. Get me lifted up. Y'all already know James Gunn be at it. He be letting people know real fast, quick, in a hurry about themselves. And I love this because apparently James Gunn is firing back at some races. Boy, ain't nothing better than a good old racist getting taken down. Now, in case you didn't know, you have James Gunn doing Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And this right here is the High Evolutionary. It is played by, I hope I say this right, Chuck Woody Owuji. And he is playing this character. He's basically the big bad guy. And boy, oh boy, you got the racist mad. Oh, they so mad. They so mad. Look at this big mad energy right here. Somebody on Instagram was like, another white guy they made into a black guy. Why couldn't they just leave him white? Or I don't know, pick a different minority. How about Asian or gasp? A Latino. How many Latinos and Asians in the MCU? Like a total of 5. Or make him an Indian or something because they don't and won't. They make, that makes them woke. There it is again. Not woke. Oh, wokeness. Next time a major character, hero or villain, will be a trans or a homosexual or non-binary, when in comics they are not. Sad and pathetic. They're picking based on race and what's PC and not on acting and what's established. Oh, somebody was so mad. I just thought it was real funny how this individual was able to go through the whole list. Was like, man, why can't they get Latino or Asian or Indian? And what? So it's just to be clear, it's just black that triggers you. Like, let's be clear, it's just black that causes you to be triggered. Mm, 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 mm. People just be telling on themselves. I'm telling you, man, it's sad. So James Gunn came in. He ain't had no time for that nonsense. He says, I chose the best actor, period, and the best person for the role. I don't give a crap what ethnicity Chawudi is. So stop with your racist presumptions on why he was chosen. And by the way, he's playing a character who's almost always purple in the comics. Thank you, James Gunn. I appreciate that. Real, real sad that you got people out here tripping over fictional characters. Fictional. Fictional. This dude is an alien? High evolutionary? What do you care what color of race he is? He's not real. He's not real. He's not real. Oh man, like I just like it's got to be exhausting being racist. Like it's got to be. It's got to be, right? Like you losing sleep, you your anxiety up, your blood pressure be up, your tension be up because black people exist, because you see black people, because people just talk about race. I've had people come on my Instagram or on my channel sitting here talking about like, oh, you're race baiting again. I was like, from what? Because I mentioned race. So what's the alternative? That we don't talk about it at all? That we don't recognize it? That we just live a nice little blind life? So when things do happen, like we just act like, no accountability? Like what's... Really need people to go outside, touch some grass, take a bath, just chill, just chill. Reese, want 10 Black Panther movies? Everyone clap for Chad. Thank you for that, Reese. I appreciate you. I love 10 Black Panther movies. That'd be great. Anywho, how do y'all feel about these racist people being upset about imaginary characters that don't even exist? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And shout out to James Gunn for just shutting that down quickly. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Anywho, let's see what else. I probably lost 10 followers right now just because of that. Race baiting. Race exists. Why are you talking about it? Let's see. We got some Daredevil updates. This has been like the big news. Which is, guess who's Bazak? That's right. John Bernthal confirms he is Punisher. The Punisher is returning in Daredevil Born Again on Disney Plus. Now, this was heavily rumored. I think a lot of us kind of like thought that this was going to happen anyway, and a lot of us are probably happy about this. I'm here for it. I'm glad that Bernthal is coming back as Punisher. I am concerned. Punisher, even down to the comic books, that ain't no PG-13 character. Now, unless you just gonna have him do like a little guest spot or something, like Punisher's a mean guy. Okay, first of all, look at this picture. Look at this picture. My man, his hands are soaked in blood. Like, he's a mean, unstable guy. Okay, like what's he gonna do on Disney Plus? Tickle you? Like, the man is going to punish people. That is the purpose. It's in his name. Okay? Like, he does very, very messed up things to people. So I am a little concerned about just throwing him into Daredevil. Unless you just want to tease and just be like, all right, he exists. All right, that's fine. But y'all gonna have to give him a rated R series then. Something. Give him a series that's rated R on Disney Plus. Something, because I mean, if you hold him back, like if you can give Deadpool rated R treatment, there's no reason why Punisher shouldn't get that either. There's no reason. And I know that there are ways to get around it, maybe imply the violence or whatever. But at the same time, I'm like, it still takes the edge off, Punisher was always like an in-your-face character, and I mean, violence is literally synonymous with this guy, But anyway, are you excited for Punisher coming back with John Bernthal? Let me know in the comments. But that's not the only thing we got going on with Daredevil. So we know that Charlie Cox is back, but however, what about the rest of the crew? Karen and Foggy, because right now it ain't looking like they coming back. And apparently some people are upset about this. You got some Marvel fans that are like, yo, we don't like this. Why aren't Karen and Foggy coming back? Like, this is the problem. I mean, look, I watched all 3 seasons of Daredevil on Netflix. I mean, to date, Daredevil, if the Netflix stuff doesn't count, let's be clear. It doesn't count. That was not Marvel Studios. That was Marvel Entertainment TV, whatever. So they don't count. But if they did count, the Daredevil like Netflix show was like the best thing that was ever associated with Marvel. Like, on TV level, that was fantastic. So while I watched all 3 seasons of Daredevil, I like Karen. I like Foggy. I can't say I'm going to really care that much if they're not in it. Now, I know that they are vital to his character. I mean, he could make new friends, can't he? And the other thing is, we also don't know if Karen and Foggy will be in there, but maybe they get played by different actors. We don't know that, right? And again, I'm not here for it. I'm not here against it. I'm just like, I'm here for Daredevil. That's all. I'm just here for Daredevil. I don't really care. Now, if he says something like, Foggy and them, they over there somewhere, they moved and all that. Okay, cool. They just not here. He'll be all right. Daredevil will be all right. There's still gonna be a hallway somewhere he could jack people up in. I'm not gonna stop watching the show if Foggy and Karen don't show up. They did say Echo was gonna be in the show. Okay. Elektra might show up. But something to consider, like I said, they might change up some people too. Maybe it's just different actors. Because look, check this out. They already done recast Vanessa. Look at that. Y'all remember Vanessa? Hold on. Where's she at? Boom. Remember Vanessa? That was Kingpin's lady. Uh-huh. They already recast her. Y'all good at recasting, huh? Interesting. So I think that this actually could be a good sign. You recasting Vanessa. I think this could help people understand, as I've been saying from the jump, this Daredevil is the 616 version. The Netflix stuff don't count. I mean, you can count it as a different universe if you want to, but it just don't count. It's not the same one. The Daredevil that we saw in She-Hulk, that's the 6161. That is the one that's going to be the main MCU Daredevil. Everything you saw on Netflix, until they say otherwise, it don't count. And this could just be further proof, given the fact that they're willing to just go ahead and, recast people. So we got Punisher. Hopefully he doesn't get watered down. We don't know if Karen and Foggy are back. We'll see. And we got a new Vanessa. I'm fine with new friends. I know y'all saying no new friends. I'm fine with new friends. They can get them some new friends. It'll be all right. So y'all let me know how you feel about the new change-ups for Daredevil. Are you not gonna watch it if Karen and Foggy are not there? Are you gonna be that upset? I want you to be very honest. But let me know what you think in the comments below. All right. I think we are at the last one, which was the Chris Rock special, y'all. So I don't know about y'all, but at first I wasn't gonna watch it. Like, I was not gonna watch the special on Netflix. This was the first time Netflix ever went live with a special. I was not gonna watch it, and the reason why I wasn't gonna watch it, because I am a Chris Rock fan. Before this special, I would have told you Chris Rock was a top 5 for me. Top 5 comedian. Stand up. But the reason why I didn't want to watch this was because I had already seen it, right? Like, he did his tour. Remember when the slap happened, he already had a tour planned. Luckily for me, I had bought my tickets pre-slap. So we got our tickets like super cheap. I don't know, it was like $60 or something stupid cheap, right? So we got our tickets early, but then when the slap happened, everybody was like, "Oh man, we gotta his prices went up and all that. So he came to Chicago. It was kind of crazy because he literally was wearing the same outfit that he was in the special. And he did his set. And it was cool. It wasn't like his best work, it wasn't Bring the Pain, like it was all right. It was all right. And he did talk about the slap when he came to Chicago. Now, again, before this, I would have told you he was top 5. Before this, because I loved his HBO specials. I mean, Chris Rock, especially in the 90s, he was doing this thing. That ain't the case no more. I did not find this special funny. There were a couple funny parts. And for me, like I didn't care for his tambourine special, and I think he did something else in between that. Like he's just falling off. Like whatever the thing is that used to give him that edge, it's missing. It's gone. And like now for me, he was in my top 5. Now he's kind of like top 10, 15, somewhere around there. But I know a lot of people were talking about the final joke, right? At the very end. And again, this was something that I was kind of like, I'm not going to watch this because I've seen it already. I heard the joke already. So there's nothing in it. But I kept seeing all people like really hyping it up. And it was like, oh my gosh, he came for Will and all this. So I actually went and watched it and listened to it. And I was just like, I don't know. He lost his edge. I mean, think about it like this. He messed up the joke at the end, right? The concussion emancipation one. He messed that up. But that's what happens when you're live. Okay, whatever. I'm not tripping. And let me also be clear on this too. I am not one of those people that are going to say he's not allowed to joke about other people. I'm not here for that. I really do believe that if you're a comedian, you are entitled to go and roast, drag, go after folks. Do what you got to do. You got to criticize society. Do it. Right? I'm here for that. I am very, very okay with comedians going out there because that's their job, pointing out certain things, making jokes about it. I'm fine with that. At the same time, I'm going to let you know if it's funny or not. Right? Because sometimes just because you got that freedom to go and say certain things does not mean that it's actually funny. Y'all remember Buddy from Seinfeld, Kramer. Kramer, when he was out there and he was, just going on a rant like, he's an N-word. He's an N-word. And he got canceled and all that stuff. Like, bro, I'm here for you to go out and say that kind of stuff. But I'm also here for you to get canceled and just like put on timeout because it wasn't funny, right? You can say what you want to say, but it wasn't funny. So with Chris Rock, what he said, when it came to Will and Jada, I was totally 110% here for him to come at Will. He deserved it, right? You smack this man on national television, embarrass him in front of friends, family, colleagues, his mama, family, all of that. And no amount of apologies from Will Smith might be enough to make Chris Rock satisfied. I understand that. I'm not. Chris, go at him. Say what you got to say. Now, it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny because while he was joking on Will, a lot of people were tripping about Chris going out of his way to call Jada the B word, right? A lot of people were upset about that. And to be honest, again, I'm not going to sit here and police what he can or can't say. He can say that. I don't have to like it. I don't have to agree with it. I personally thought it was unnecessary, right? I don't think he had to say it. But then I was also thinking about like, I think he said what he said because he was still scared of Will Smith because he did keep her name out of his mouth. But like, to me, I'm thinking like you should have made a joke about that. Right? Like you should have said, like, okay, I'm gonna keep her name out my mouth. This do, like at least you could have made it a joke. And the reason why it didn't land as a joke, if he meant it that way, was because he didn't set it up as a joke. Now I'm about to get into my critic mind. I'm gonna put my critic hat on. I know some of y'all people out there that are like, man, it was just a joke. Just take it out. You don't have to think so deep. I'm a critic. I can think about what I want. His joke got compromised because he got emotional. If you notice during his set, this is why he flubbed up his joke. This is why it got messed up. He started getting emotional and stopped being a comedian. He started ranting rather than executing, right? This is why he started calling her out her name. This is why he messed up his delivery. This is why all that happened. And to me, again, this is where I'm like, Chris, you're better than this. But the problem I have, and this is probably the only real critique I have about his joke, and it was the one at the end. It was the concussion emancipation one. Now, he started off saying, and I'm sorry if this is a spoiler. So if you don't want to hear the joke, this is spoiler territory. So he makes the joke about, he used to be a fan of Will Smith, and he was such a fan that after the slap, now he basically started rooting for Massa to beat on him during emancipation. So think about this. You got to a point where you were like, man, beat him down. You started rooting for the slave master to beat the other black man. Now, here's the thing. That joke, I thought, was funny. I thought it was funny because that's an extreme, right? You're talking about, man, you dislike this dude so much, you willing to say, where's my black card? Here you go. Go, Massa, go, right? I get the joke. I laughed. I thought that was funny. It wasn't until the last joke that kind of sent me off. Then he finishes off his whole thing by saying, however, my parents raised me better not to fight in front of white people. And he drops the mic. First of all, why'd you drop the mic? Pick that back up. That was not a mic drop moment. And I'm going to tell you the reason why it was not a mic drop moment is because you literally compromised yourself right there. In other words, you mean to tell me that your parents told you or raised you not to fight in front of white people? I want you to think about what this means, because I know when we laughing, we don't think. When we laughing, we don't care, and that's fine. You don't have to. If you think it's funny, that's cool. I like to think. And for me, I was just like, man, Chris, you compromised your own blackness within your own comedy set. Because if you had left it on the emancipation joke, that would have been fine. Or if you took that out and then you brought up your black parent thing, that would have been fine. But the problem that ended up happening was you sat here and said you don't want to fight in front of white people, which means that you look for white validation for your actions. And that's a whole different discussion I'm not going to get into. So you value the perception of white gaze, Gaze, but you still have no problem rooting for a black man to be beaten by a slave master. In one hand, you're saying, I have all this integrity, this black integrity. But then right before that, you said you cool with watching the slave master beat on the black man. And by the way, because of the fact that we have receipts, we didn't forget what you said. I'm not going to play it here, but we're not going to forget about the time that you and Louis C.K. and Ricky Gervais and Jerry Seinfeld were sitting in a room and you encouraged these white guys to use the N-word with the hard ER and crack jokes about it. And it's so funny that you being the only black man in that room The only person that didn't want to talk about the N-word was Jerry Seinfeld. I had so much respect for Jerry Seinfeld because he was like, yeah, I just never found any humor in the word. So I don't want it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to say it. I don't want to use it. And Chris Rock was like, come on. Just go ahead and say it. Say the N-word. No, yeah, it's fine. Yeah, we say the N-word all the time. N-word, N-word, N-word. It's like, brother, do you really care about how white people view you that much? Because again, you can't sit here and tell me my parents raised me not to fight in front of white people, but then did they teach you to give them the N-word pass too? Did they teach you to go ahead and root for Massa too? So that's where, for me, Chris compromised his own joke, right? Again, you might not think that. Maybe you laughed it off. Maybe you didn't think about it. That's fine. I'm just talking about for me, right? And the thing is that I also started to notice how over time, if we look at the beginning of Slapgate, I think a large majority of people were on Chris Rock's side. I think a lot of people was like, yo, Will was bogus, which he was. Chris Rock didn't deserve it. We're on Team Chris, right? And during the special, I was just like, you let your emotions get the best of you. And while you let your emotions get the best of you, your emotions compromised your comedy set, and you compromised yourself and your black integrity within your own joke. And it got to the point where you actually started seeing other people turning on Chris Rock. You actually saw people out there being like, nah, Will should have smacked him again. Like, people literally did a 180 on Chris Rock, the guy that was a victim and smacked. People was like, nah, now we see why people want to smack you. Now, I'm not taking no sides in this. In my opinion, Will did something bogus. The least he could do was try to make amends. He said he's reached out. He's written a letter. He's done a video. He's put himself out there. He's accepted it. I get that. So that's all you can really do. Chris, I was like, yo, you got a whole comedy set, make your money, ride this ride. It's a little sad that after a year, this was the best joke you came up with. A year? Like, you a whole pro. And a year, this is why I can't really keep him in my top 5. Because I know if you get, and this is probably unfair to even say, but if you had given Dave Chappelle a year to think about a joke about the slap, Dave would have dropped us some fire. Okay? Anyway, let's do some actual news follow-up. So, one question that a lot of people have is like, yo, like after all of this, now what? What's up with Will, right? Well, according to sources, Will Smith is embarrassed and hurt over Chris Rock's comments in the Netflix special. The sources say Will is embarrassed and hurt by what Chris said about him and his family in the Netflix special. He didn't watch it, but he had people tell him what Chris said, according to this insider. Will and Jada have seen comments about it. All right. So, that's expected. I could totally understand that, right? I totally get that Will would not want to watch it. I wouldn't want to watch it either if I was Will Smith, but I just brought that up because, like, I bet you it's gonna be a red table talk real soon. I told you that this was gonna happen eventually one day. It's gonna be a red table talk, and they gonna talk. I don't know. if they want the ratings, Chris got to show up. They got to pay Chris a couple $1 million, something crazy. But if they were smart, and I'm talking about Chris and Will and Jada, they need to make that a televised event, and everybody, they need to just make it a pay-per-view. If there was, Jada, take this idea. Make it a pay-per-view. I guarantee you people go tune in. I know we're going to be tired of it, but people go tune in. I'm talking about the business side of things. That's all. But anyway, what is so funny about this is that, and I never, y'all, when I tell you, you couldn't pay me money to believe that I would ever say this in my life. Marlon Wayans had a better stand-up comedy show than Chris Rock. I could not believe this. I was in utter shock. Now, I am one of those people that is a fan of Marlon Wayans in some things. I'm not a fan of like his goofy slapstick humor. So like I like them in the Wayans Brothers. I like him in some movies, but overall, I'm not like a huge fan of his style of comedy. And his stand-up has never really been that funny to me. But this right here on HBO Max is probably the man's best work I've ever seen. This thing was hilarious. And on top of that, remember I told you Chris Rock had a whole year to come up with a joke and all this stuff, and that was it. Marlon made his whole set about Chris, Will, and Jada, and himself. And it was phenomenal. I was just like, bro, this was a great show. Like this, I'm shocked that of all comedians, I would have lost so much money if you would have told me who's a better comedian, who's going to have a better stand-up, Chris Rock or Marlon Wayans. I'm putting my house on Chris Rock. What? And we would have been homeless because Marlon Wayans proved me completely wrong. Go watch that if you have not seen it. That is absolutely 110% recommended. Go watch Marlon Wayans, God Loves Me on HBO Max. His absolute best work. And I'm not saying, listen, I'm not saying this is the best thing ever. I'm saying it's his best work. Out of all the comedy stand-up he's done, this is his, relatively speaking, best work. All right, that's all. Whew. All right. What do y'all think about the Chris Rock Slapgate? What did you think about the special? You know, like I said, if y'all enjoyed it, that's fine. If y'all did, you know, don't want to think deep about it, that's fine. Like, I'm a critic. I analyze things. I've analyzed Kevin Hart's stand-up. You know, I don't go out in public and talk about it, but that's the way my brain works. So, you know, if some people don't want to analyze things, that's okay. Like, my channel, my platform, my brain, y'all gonna get these analytics, you know, analyzations. But anyway, let me know what y'all thought about the Rock special, man. Like, did y'all like it? Did y'all not like it? What were your favorite jokes in it? Have you seen the Marlon special, the Marlon Wayans special? Let me know what you thought. Share your thoughts in the comments below. All right, let's go up. I'm sorry, I missed a bunch of people. Let me grab some things. Okay, I'm caught up. Let me grab these. Ooh, I said I was gonna have y'all out here by midnight. I'm so close. Ty with the super sticker. Thank you so much, Ty. I appreciate you so much. My man Marcus, what you got? Hot take: Marlon Wayans has the best 45 on the slap, and it's way better than what Chris said. My opinion is that Chris is still mad at Jada more than Will. His intentions are steeped in emotion. You know what? No, and that's so funny. Like, look, um, so if we are going to analyze things, right? I don't know if Chris is really obsessed with Jada or not. There have been reports about it. There have been people that have been saying it. I don't know if I've seen enough to support that. However, one thing I was a little disappointed in Chris was when he was setting up his joke and it was starting to get into the emotional rant. And he was like, he took offense to Jada saying, maybe you shouldn't host the Oscars because they didn't nominate Will for Concussion. Now, we just went through a whole thing about how Oscar voters don't even watch movies and they, just so happen to have a certain bias or whatever against black films or whatever. Now, Jada was like, look, maybe you shouldn't go watch it. Maybe you shouldn't go host as a form of protest, because that's why Jada didn't show up, right? Don't show up. Don't do it as a form of protest. Because and for Chris, he was just like, what? You want me to do this because of your husband? And because your husband didn't get nominated? Time out, Chris. That was not the reason. Yes, superficially that was the thing, but let's not act like during that time when Concussion was out, there was a whole conversation about Oscars so white. There was a whole conversation about black talent not being recognized and being willfully ignored at the time. So for me, I'm like, how did you sit here and only take this as Jada is saying this because of her husband and blah, blah, blah? Because now you're making it seem real petty. Because back up a minute, when you go back to that Oscars, he talked about the whole Oscar so white thing. He talked about the tension and all the stuff. And here's the thing. I didn't care whether Chris hosted it or not. If Chris was like, nah, Oscar so white, I'm protesting, cool. If Chris was like, nah, I'm going to host it in spite of all that and I'm going to say something, cool. I had no problem either way. But this man focused on the fact that Jada said this about this and her husband, and that was it. And I was like, bro, really? Like, I'm not saying that you are obsessed, but man, you're not helping the case. You're not helping the case. Thank you so much for that, Marcus. I appreciate you. Marcus, what you got? Well, it looks like we're on the same page. I know it took a little while to get there, but yeah, we on the same page. Thank you for that. Let's see. Reagan, what you got? The Kevin Hart set he did at Madison Square Garden with Chris and Dave was the best set I've ever seen. I was crying laughing. Kev def earned the closing spot that night. Chris was okay. Dave just did a short set. So I don't know what that set was. However, when I saw Kevin Hart and Chris Rock around the same time, it was like a month apart. So maybe if the set you saw was the same set I saw from Kevin Hart, I would agree with you, because Kevin got back in his bag with that, because his last two things, What Now and whatever that other quarantine one he did, those were terrible. Kevin was not good and lost his spunk. Again, I could go into a full analysis as to why his comedy sets were terrible. Matter of fact, I'll give you a couple right now. My man got way too formulaic. His jokes were way too predictable, and they were way too unrelatable. I don't care about your rich people problems. You talking about your issues with your mansion and your security cameras and your dogs and all this. Bro, I don't care. I can't relate to you on that level. However, Kevin Hart's new stuff, now he's talking about his dad. Now he's talking about his brothers or his family. Now he's talking about his kids. Now he's talking about his friends. We can relate. And they were really funny. Those type of things. He's talking about going through the airport. We can relate. He got back in his bag. So I believe you if that is the same thing, because Kevin Hart definitely was struggling at first, but now he definitely is better with with this comedy. Thank you for that. Chris, what you got? Prayers to the Jehovah Witnesses who was shot and killed in the Kingdom Hall today. Oh man. Oh, I did hear about that. Yeah, definitely. Shout out to them. That's terrible. I didn't get all the details, but I did hear something about that they were like a shooting that was happening. But yeah, shout out to them for their for real prayers for them. All right, that's all we got, guys. I made it before midnight, before 3 hours. I did it. I don't care if it's 2 hours and 49 minutes. We did it. That's all that matters. I want to thank y'all once again for taking the time to hang out with me tonight. I want to thank y'all for sharing my videos. Like, that really means a lot to me when y'all share my stuff. So thank you so much for that. And shout out to y'all out there, like, just, you know, just showing love and just being like, yo, go subscribe. Like, yo, that means a lot, you know. But what else do we have coming up? Monday, season finale of The Last of Us. We are going to go live on Monday. I'm sorry, it comes out on Sunday, but we'll go live on Monday to react to it. I'm giving y'all 24 hours. Wednesday, we're gonna come back and talk about oh no, I can't because I got screenings on Wednesday. So we'll have to do Mandalorian maybe on Thursday. And we'll do some reaction to that. And then of course we'll come back here Friday as well. Daniel, thank you so much. Good night, E-Man. Catch you on the replay. All good. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for that. But yeah, y'all, that's all I got for this. I'm sleepy, I'm tired. It's past my bedtime. So you know the routine. Wash your hands, wash your butts. Be cool about it. Oh, Bel Air. Dang, did Bel Air come out? I can't even cover it. I can't even cover. I think, aren't you covering it, Brandon? If you covering it, go ahead and plug your stuff, man. If you covering it, do your thing. Y'all go and watch it. I have another project that I have to work on that I'm super excited about. I'm trying to be low key about it, but I need to work on that. I can't even do Bel Air. I wish, but I will. I just ain't got the time. But anyway, y'all be good. I'll see y'all later. Peace.